and we haven't gone over it, but we will, this arrangement where the kick happens well beyond the action.
Yeah.
And everybody is packed together in a tight box where you can't get high-speed collisions. Let's go ahead and do that while we're there. You've got the kicker at the 35. This is the base package of the new kickoff.
Yep.
Kicker's at the kicking team's 35. His 10 teammates are on the receiving team's 40, and 9 of the receiving team players are between the 35 and the 30. It's all clustered together. If we've got the graphic of the hybrid kickoff, I think that really will help people understand what this is going to look like. And then behind that action, you've got 1 or 2 returners in the landing zone. There it is on the left. Look at the right side of that. The 2 returners are aligned there between the 20 and the goal line. That is the landing zone. All the X's are the kicking team members. There are the red dots that are the receiving team blockers. But it's all packed together in the receiving team's end of the field, Chris, with the primary goal of eliminating high-speed collisions and potentially serious neck injuries that would result.
Yeah, no, it's like, listen, I think it's the best possible scenario we could figure out to still keep the play. I like it. The 5 yards really there. It's not enough room to create a huge collision to hurt anybody, right? That aspect of it, I do. Again, we've talked about the creativity on both sides. When the ball's kicked, what do you do? What do the red dots do? How they can conform or move to block to stop the blue X's, right? Or what are the blue X's going to do? And, what pattern or approach are they going to take according to how the ball's kicked and where they're going to go to corral the tackler? That's what I'm interested to see. The creativity there, the creativity with 2 returners back, right? Now, the one thing I will say that, here's my first unintended consequence that I worry about, right? And you just talked about the punt. Is a little similar to that, right? You got 10 guys here. You got 9 guys here. And if one guy misses and it's a high kick and the guy's going to return it and he's looking up, I do think you could start to see some punt return style car crashes as the guy's about to. Oh, you can't do that.
No.
You can't. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
This is the electric football component.
Well,
We've got video of the XFL
went down
kick.
a road.
Nobody moves.
Nobody moves. I went down the road too far. My bad. That's right. So they have to wait till he catches it. So you're good.
It's electric football,
yeah.
And the kid's getting ready to hit the button, and he hits the button as soon as the ball is caught. So you're not going to have that. Height on kicks doesn't matter. Hang time doesn't matter. All that matters is placement. Where does the ball get caught? And then once the ball's caught, off they go. The kid's holding the button. Boom, I'm turning it on as soon as he catches it. And look,
I'm an idiot.
Goes.
I knew that, Mike. I literally thought about an unintended consequence as I was looking at the graph and then talked myself into, that could happen, like an idiot. But
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's
nothing wrong with that. It's a creative mind that gets a little off the rails at times.
It gets a little off the rails. Definitely. But that's what I'm excited for, right there. What you see there at the end. Again, with a guy who just finds a crease and explodes up the field. That's where I think we all love to see great athletes in space and what they can do in those moments. And I think that this new play can provide us all with that.
I wish they hadn't tweaked the rule to move the touchback from the 35 to the 30, because once these teams start deploying badass returners, and once they decide the chances of having a Jason Sehorn moment, if anybody remembers that, the great cornerback of the Giants, they decided to make him a kick returner. And I think in the Jets-Giants game,
it was.
In the preseason,
I was there. Yeah.
Got hit, torn ACL.
Right.
On a kick return, and that was that for Jason Sehorn. I think he played again after that, but he was never the same again after that moment.
Right.
You're going to have a less of a risk, so you're going to put Tyreek Hill back there, potentially. Maybe you're going to do it in a big game. When Randy Moss was playing, from time to time, you'd see him back to return a punt. I remember he returned one against the Chiefs for a touchdown on a Sunday night or a Monday night game at one point. You're going to be less concerned about getting your guy injured in that situation because it's more broken field than open field.
Yeah.
And everyone's packed together, and the chances of taking that big hit that's going to injure you
from out of nowhere that you don't
tear
see.
An ACL.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
You can tear an ACL in a confined space. You can have that Tyreek Hill injury when somebody does the combination horse collar hip drop on you. But there's going to be, I think, less concern. And the upside is tremendous because if you have that guy who can – we saw that. If there's one crease and if he's got the vision to see it and hit it, I'd put a great running back there. If I've got a running back that runs a 4.4 and he knows how to instinctively find the opening and hit it, because that's all it's going to take when they're all packed together like that. It's going to be more like the line of scrimmage. Where's my opening? There it is. I'm through it, and I'm gone. And my concern is when you have a guy that you know is going to do that, they're just going to take the touchback and give the ball at the 30. If it's the 35, that's too much to concede. The 30 might be the point where somebody says, I don't want to watch Tyreek Hill run for 50 yards again through the formation and hope the kicker tracks him down. We're just going to kick the ball into the end zone.
Yeah, no, you could, and you're right. Maybe that's something that they will have to rethink or tinker with, as they go along, or maybe they make an amendment there, as they figure this out to figure that's the best way to do it. But you said it. I don't think there's great danger for the star players to be back there, right? The Jason Sehorn play is a guy where he's running up the middle. It's a guy kind of out of nowhere from the side, hits him, and he didn't see him, and he gets hit in the side of the leg. The ones we've seen, the ones I've seen in the XFL, whatever, a kick returner gets it. He's kind of moving forward as he catches it. There's nobody coming out of nowhere to kind of hit him. He's going to be able to evaluate that, protect himself as best he can. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'm happy for it. And again, it's the third phase of football. Well, we talk about it all the time, right? We might even not we always dive into offense, defense, and matchups. But gosh, a lot of the good football teams, they win football games because of the third phase, right? And we were losing a big chunk of the third phase because this play was not really a real thing, and I'm glad to see it back. Special teams are exciting, whether it's Devin Hester returning a kick to start the Super Bowl or whether, it's Chubb's Tony returning an amazing punt in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. It's Desmond Howard. There's been so many big plays that way, right? Jacoby Jones, Ravens, returning a kick, kind of saying, okay, see you 49ers, you're in deep crap now against the Ravens 49ers Super Bowl. So that's where I'm glad to see it. I don't want to see this aspect of the game go. And this year, with it being new, Mike, I could see this being a year where some team steals 2 or 3 games because of how they return kicks or do something and the newness of it. And they created a creative angle or new scheme that, the league wasn't, I didn't think about doing it that way. You might get a team this year that you go, man, they're a 7-10 team, but damn, because of the new kick return and what they did in creative there, they actually went 9-8 or 10-7 because they won 2 or 3 games with special teams. That's possible. I could certainly see that happening this year.
What a year to not have Bill Belichick as a head coach.
Oh, right? Seriously, right? I know. It's on you, John Harbaugh. You are the one. Take over, John Harbaugh.
Or Andy Reid. Andy Reid was very much in support of it and wanted to get it done this week. And maybe because he knows I've been around this game long enough, I know how to work with Dave Taub.
He's got Dave Taub, too. Exactly, right.
And we're going to figure this out, and we're going to come up with some ways to get the most out of this. But you're talking about, even if it's not a long return, if it takes the average field position from the 25 to the 32.
Exactly.
For a team, that's a huge difference,
right?
You talk about playing out every drive. Every time someone kicks to you, we're on average at the 32 instead of the 25, because now it's just the 25. It's the 25, the 25, the 25. If you start moving it beyond that to start the drive, you're going to have more points. And that's the other thing they want. That was a concern that Rich McKay, the chair of the competition committee, articulated last week. They're concerned about the decline in points from 49 during COVID down to 43.5 this year. They want more points. And this is a path to more points.
More short fields.
Because it's going to be shorter fields and easier to get in field goal range. Think of what it's going to do in overtime.
Yeah.
How's it going to affect your strategy now in overtime, especially postseason overtime? because that first drive isn't starting on the 25. It's quite possibly starting on the 35 or the 40, or one cut and you're starting, on the other team's 45 or 40, or maybe you score a touchdown. So, yeah, it is going to rejuvenate a lost aspect of the game. You mentioned Jacoby Jones. I thought you were going to go with Jacoby Jones getting tripped up by Mike Tomlin. Like, that's gone from the game too.
Seriously.
We need that back in the game.
Let me act like I'm looking at the big screen over here and just hoping that the other team's returner will trip over me. That was a classic.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.